Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, we're sweeping up some blues. Time's been flying by, hasn't it? Including the article you're reading today. Just 5 TWABs stand between you and the Witch Queen. We don't yet have the technology to enter a hypersleep that can bridge these gaps, but we do have the power to set some expectations on topics we'll be covering between now and then. This week, we'll be talking about power, blue drops, Gunsmith reputation, some shifts in exotic sources, and more. Over the next few TWABs, we'll be talking Vanguard rep, Gambit reworks, weapon crafting, and Void 3.0, but not necessarily in that order. Don't forget the patch note previews and additional weapon tuning details. It'll be a fun time, and hopefully we'll give you some things to chew on each week. We may even have a trailer or two to share with you before launch. If you haven't been on social media in the last week, you might have missed some bite-sized snippets of the story. You know, I kind of like how Bungie's doing this, right? Like, it's just these little small clips here and there, getting us hyped for the story. Now let's kick things off with power, where your guardian will stand when it's time to embark on the Witch Queen's campaign. So first up, the power is yours. In the realm of Destiny, power is not only a measurement of your guardian's general abilities, but a consistent gauge for players on whether or not they'll be able to tackle a given challenge. While the Witch Queen won't feature a big overhaul to the ways in which you gain power, we do have some general updates coming on launch day to get returning and new players up and ready for a fresh campaign. First, let's talk some definitions. Some of you may know these by heart, but we're always excited to introduce new lights and returning players to information like this. So first, we have floor, the lowest possible power for a piece of gear, starting point for new characters. Soft cap, the point at which general drops stop being automatic upgrades. Powerful gear drops are now the best way to gain power. Power cap, the point at which powerful drops stop being upgrades. And pinnacle gear drops are now the only way to gain power. And hard cap, max possible power from pinnacle drops, ignoring artifact power. Now starting on February the 22nd, the power floor will be updated to 1350. Any player who signs in will be at the appropriate power levels to start the Witch Queen campaign, even if they taken a recent break from the game. Through general gameplay, players can reach the soft cap of 1500 by earning general gear through activity completions, chests, and more. This includes rare and legendary drops. Once reaching the soft cap, players will need to earn powerful drops from vendor challenges and other objectives in the game. Once reaching the power cap of 1550, the only upgrades that players will find are from in-game activities that offer pinnacle rewards. Your final stretch to the hard cap of 1560 will be through raids, Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, and other in-game PvE sources. So looky there, guys. Pretty much the same normal jump we see here in levels with all of our big annual expansions. So a whopping 200 plus. Now there are some adjustments to pinnacle and powerful sources, as they shift yearly to focus on newer seasonal content and fresh Destiny 2 expansion content offered with the Witch Queen. Keep an eye on tooltips as you start completing activities, as they'll specifically note the different types of rewards they offer. We have no doubts that our more eager players will create guides within a week of launch, but we hope that the power climb is fairly easy to understand once you get your boots on the ground February the 22nd. Now, designing an economy is easy, right? Short answer, absolutely not. Nothing in the game design is easy, especially when tackling various currencies and exchanges that Destiny 2 offers. This week, we'll be diving in with the economy feature lead Joshua Kulinski. Hope I'm saying your name right. Kulinski? There we go. Speaking to some exciting changes on behalf of the team. So from Josh here, beginning in Witch Queen, blue rare rewards will stop dropping from playlist activities, Crucible Strikes, Gambit, once players have reached the soft cap. Oh my god. Now players above the soft cap, 1500 power in the Witch Queen, will instead see a slightly increased chance at receiving legendary rewards from these activities or a small amount of legendary shards. This is huge, guys. How many of us have lost stacks of enhancement prisms or ascendant shards in their postmaster because their postmaster got too full of blues? Now, blue weapons and armors will continue to drop from enemies in chests while playing Destiny 2, but we hope that this will reduce the need for players to manage their inventories and reduce the frequency of visits to the postmaster when running playlist activities. Excellent. Now, we have some work ahead of us when it comes to rarity as a subject in Destiny 2. While blue gear helps players increase their power earlier in the game, we want to look at their place in the overall game. We aren't expecting any major changes in the next few seasons, but we'll be spending some time behind the scenes thinking about the future of rare drops all up. Now, Gunsmith reputation. Bungie 44 is getting a new reputation system that matches the other vendors in the tower. such as Zavala and Shaxx. This means we are removing some of the items that were previously associated with the Gunsmith reputation, namely Gunsmith materials and weapon telemetries. Players will now earn reputation rank progress with Banshee 44 when dismantling legendary and exotic weapons and armor, or by completing daily Gunsmith bounties. Wow, so just dismantling them will earn you reputation. Now, players will want to spend their Gunsmith materials and weapon telemetries at Banshee 44 before February the 22nd, 2022. Any materials that are not spent will be removed from the inventory automatically. Oh, boys, I gotta say, sometimes it looks like we're clairvoyant, but we just got really lucky because we turned in all 50,000 Gunsmith materials the other day, and I was actually wondering afterwards, I was like, man, if it turns out we need those for weapon crafting, I am so screwed. But looky there. Now, mod and mod components. We will also be removing mod components from the game. Starting in the Witch Queen, weapon and armor mods sold by Banshee 44 and Ada 1 respectively will no longer require mod components to purchase and will instead cost 10,000 glimmer each. Furthermore, as part of this update, we are increasing the number of mods available on each vendor at a single time from 2 to now 4. This is really good for people that need to catch up, right? Now, before we move on, it should be noted that all ghost mods that generate weapon telemetries will be removed as they no longer serve a purpose. These mods are Arc Analyzer, Solar Analyzer, Void Analyzer, Omni Telemetry, and Banshee Special. Again, guys, this is good. We've already seen this adjustment to Shaxx, Zavala, Saint 14 with Trials. This is a system that's been working everywhere else, and now it's migrating here for our Gunsmith. I'm all for it. Now, Rahool's taking over. As we have mentioned in the past, Master Rahool will be inheriting Spider's material exchange duties in the Witch Queen. Exchange rates should match what you know from Spider for now, but these services are being shifted to the tower as the Tangle Shore will soon be off limits to Guardians. In addition, Rahool will also be picking up some of the wares that Banshee 44 and Ada 1 once offered, specifically the sale of enhancement prisms and ascendant shards. As noted above, this makes space for more mods to be available for purchase during a given week. Rahool will also offer these materials at the same price as Banshee 44 and Ada 1 once sold them. Okay, so everything is essentially moving to Rahool. Enhancement prisms, ascendant shards, etc. to make room for the mods at Ada and Banshee. Now, enhancement prisms are still going to cost 10 enhancement cores, 25 planetary materials, 10,000 glimmer, ascendant shards, 10 enhancement prisms, 100 planetary materials, and 50,000 glimmer. Now, as a final note, before we move on to some exotic news, Master Rahool will also be able to decrypt umbral engrams. So players will no longer have to hop between the helm and the tower to decrypt all of the engrams in their inventory. Focusing for individual seasonal weapons and armor will live on in seasonal vendors in the helm moving forward. So if you want to focus on a specific weapon from a given season, you'll still need to head to the helm for the decryption. All right, so if you're just trying to get rid of umbrals, you can do that through Master Rahool. Although if you're looking to focus, which even today I'm still doing that. By the way, we made a video the other day of weapons to get for champion mods going into the next season. Feel free to check that one out. We even talk about how to focus your umbral engrams for many of those weapons. Now, moving on. Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale. Oh yeah, here we go. As of February the 22nd, 2022, the Harbinger and Presage exotic missions will no longer be accessible. The team still wanted to preserve the ability for players to obtain random rolls of these weapons. Therefore, instead of adding these items to the Monument to Lost Lights, as we have done with most of our previous exotics that no longer have sources, these two weapons will show up as part of Xur's inventory each weekend. Every week, Xur will offer a unique roll for both Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale and will be purchasable to players that own Beyond Light for the following materials: an Ascendant Shard, an Exotic Cipher, 125,000 Glimmer, and 200 Legendary Shards. Fellas, we are about to start making Xur videos. You start handing out random rolls of Hawkmoon and DMT? Oh, we're gonna be there. Now wait, before you go, what about those exotic catalysts? Oh, that's something fun. The Hawkmoon, DMT, and Ager Scepter catalysts will be moved to the playlist Activity, Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit completions. In addition to these three, we've also added the ability for the 3 catalysts that have been absent from Destiny 2 to drop from playlist activities as well. So for the full list of exotic catalysts that are being added here to our core playlist include Hawkmoon, Dead Man's Tale, Ager Scepter, Outbreak Perfected, Whisper of the Worm, and 4th Horseman. Fantastic. Dude, I still have people mentioning how they don't have the 4th Horseman exotic catalyst. Now, Outbreak Perfected and Whisper of the Worm have both had the requirements for completing their catalysts updated so they can be completed without access to their original activities. Well done. Good stuff, Bungie. Accessibility, man. I didn't want to see these weapons go away and us have an entire entire year there where people could no longer access them, as well as their exotic catalysts. Now save the raid date. Oh, the Witch Queen has a new raid. Surprising, no? While we still have a bit of time before World's First, we wanted to get a rally flag planted in the sand for when you should expect to be taking on the challenge. So Destiny 2, the Witch Queen Redacted raid will actually begin March the 5th, 2022 at 10 a.m. Pacific. Oh my God, that's the day before my birthday. And it's a Saturday. We'll have additional details on contest mode, Bungie rewards, and other need-to-know information closer to the date. Until then, get in those time-off requests. If you're still in school, we do not advise faking sick notes from doctors or lying to your parents to stay home. Go to class, do your homework, ace those tests, be a good student, conquer the raid boss. That is the essay due next week. Raid prep can be an evening activity. We'll be proud of you either way. All right, so that actually means we're gonna have a little more than 10 days to prep for the raid, which is about normal. And it's gonna be 10 days of no sleep. I'm gonna be shitting in a bucket, pissing in a bag. I'm gonna have a chug jug, keeping me alive for all those days. And all I want for my birthday this year, all I want is to get World's First, baby. Now, as a final note here from DMG, a quick clarification before we go. Over the weekend, a few Guardians out there were scrapping our articles to figure out whether or not Iron Banner bounties will be removed at the end of the season. It was discovered that we had a slight error published to the website, and I wanted to take a moment to set expectations on what is being removed. Iron Banner bounties will not be removed at the end of the season. Bounties acquired and completed at any point during the season will be retained after the Witch Queen releases. Note, bounties retained from Season of the Lost will be capped at 1350 power and not giving players any bonus power next season upon redemption. Additional note, these bounties will be removed at the end of Season 16, as Saladin will be taking his turn in our rollout of vendor reworks. Final note, because I have you here, our final Iron Banner of the season will be during the final week of Season of the Lost. Seasonal bounties related to Season of the Hunt, Season of the Chosen, and Season of the Spicer, and Season of the Lost will be removed at the end of the season. Bounties from the Tangle Shore destination will also be removed at the end of the season. Now, some daily bounties from general activities or destinations may be removed depending on objective or reward balancing on a per bounty basis. Example, a handful of Drifter and Gunsmith bounties are being looked at alongside some vendor reworks. Note, oh dear, did we just confirm the Drifter is getting a pass? Well, that shouldn't be a surprise. We are tinkering with Gambit in Season 16. More on that in a future TWAB. Rule of thumb, if you do not want to lose your rewards, we highly recommend that you turn in your bounties before a new year of Destiny content hits the servers. While some of you are looking to rank up your artifact a bit faster than others, we expect many of your mod unlocks to come from completing the campaign and jumping into quests and activities afterwards. Take your time. You'll unlock all the goodies, we have no doubts. Thanks for stopping by for another TWAB. Next week, Hippie will be taking the reins for her second TWAB. Until then, we'll see you in the wild. Cheers, DMG. Alrighty, guys. Well, now I'll give you a kind of an idea of what we're looking at bounty-wise if you're looking to optimize going into the next season. Personally, I am. I'm saving a lot of bounties, including my Iron Banner bounties. I'm also getting slightly concerned because I said the other day quite boldly that if we actually see a major Gambit update going into next season, I would delete a god roll of chat's choice. Fellas, I'm starting to think we're going to get a big Gambit change. And listen to me, I just want y'all to know that it's all out of fun, okay? And I have an entire vault full of weapons that you can delete. A number of finite impactors. I even got a couple palindromes here recently that are really, really good. I've got an IS Lunar or two that are pretty good. I'm just saying, fellas, there's options out there. I know some of you are already kind of jumping to some conclusions. I saw some brief mention of an annual skate that I had. I just don't feel like you're going to get what you want watching me delete annual skate, right? It's such a non-meta weapon. I can live without it. Anyways, regardless, I think here in the next few weeks, we'll get some more details. Hopefully, the Gambit changes are pretty good. Hopefully, they're major. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.